Alright, what's up everybody? It's Jobbers and Goons here, aka YFE or Splash, and I've brought an excellent Christmas gift in the form of a late video slightly, but I brought Chuck along. Chuck, you want to say what's up?
What up, fellas? I hope all of you have had a happy holiday, and thanks for having me be on here. We're gonna have a pretty spicy topic for y'all.
Yeah, this is, I don't think it's cancerous. It's just a funny topic. But basically, I floated a couple ideas. One of them being like a Santa verse, but I had a homie do it. Shout out to Q. He did that battle. And I wanted to do something a little different. And I thought, what if Thanos, specifically, you know, Thanos in the Thanos wins storyline, what if he like realized like, yo, I don't think I officially got rid of Christmas. I don't think I beat Santa. And we see him go against the Santas and the Omniverse. So the Santas we're providing today to battle Thanos are Mythology Santa, Marvel Santa, DC Santa. This trio will be pulling up on Thanos wins to see if they can take down this final form Thanos. So real quick, I will be going over the different forms of Santas, what they do, and then we're going to shift over. Chuck will explain Thanos wins, how strong he is, and then we will discuss what would happen if this battle went down. So let's begin. So I'm going to first talk about Marvel Santa, the biggest things for him in terms of scaling. Obviously, he's a reality warper. He has insane levels of magic, including things such as containing Galactus level beings in his globe rituals. In terms of speed, he has this famous traveling around the world in one night, but he's also fast enough to react to all the other mutants in comics, including blitzing the X-Men. He's registered as the strongest mutant of all time, which would include characters like Franklin Richards. You know, even Professor X would be impressive to scale that massively above, given that X could take on Dark Phoenix, who the battle was raging across infinite planes of existence simultaneously. So, and Apocalypse. So there's so many examples of how wild that scaling is. And yeah, he's also... Go ahead.
I like to just really quickly touch up on like one of the pages you provided. It said that his speed was like 7, I think, or like the max speed stat. So that would make him faster than Thor and Silver Surfer, who, you know, can already travel like through time just by flying really fast, or, you know, they can travel from like one universe to another. So that would make them really fast. And another thing too is that Franklin Richards, he has been able to like make Galactus like his herald, right? Like he amplified him, and they were able to defeat like several Celestials together. So yeah, if Santa is holding like a being that is that strong, you know, like as you said with his glove, right? Then, you know, that should easily put him at least like Celestial tier, I think, or, you know, around there, right?
Yeah, and
Skyfather Celestial tier at least.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. There's statements and guides and stuff that says Marvel Santa is kind of like Odin, like seen as like a really happy version of Odin. There's also his reality warping where he like makes people happier, reforms people when he's around them. But yeah, he's compared to Skyfathers directly. And you know, with his mutant status, that's also crazy. There is the story, of course, where he uses the Infinity Gauntlet, but he also gets hit by a snowball, so fuck it. But besides that, man, like Marvel's Santa, just based off his lore and some of his stories, he probably Skyfather range, maybe a little bit above, definitely more impressive than people think. Next up, Mythology Santa. This Santa, his best feats, you could actually get like Mythology Santa to like multiversal, because he gives amps that are transcendental. He can travel the world tree in like a night, and his sleigh is compared to the chariot of the gods of Thor, Odin, and Zeus and Osiris. he's like directly compared to them. He has reality warping magic for himself. He doesn't age. Some of this is tied to him having some kind of elvish heritage. But yeah, mostly his stuff tied to the world tree is what gives him impressive potential combative abilities. He also has obviously future sight, as he can see if you've been bad or good, and he'll know in advance. He also knows if you're on guard or off guard. And there's also this weird one I showed Chuck where he, like, in some cultures they believe his rituals and like his feats he performed, he actually compresses time and space. So it's like a distance hacks basically when he's attacking. If he uses that for combat, that's pretty bullshit. Basically just condenses time and space to get to you immediately. Which would be pretty impressive. But I don't know. So just curious, Chuck, were you surprised how strong mythology Santa was?
I mean, with him being, quote unquote, compared to like the Greek gods and I think Egyptian, I think you said there. Yeah, it's pretty cool because we have Zeus, who, like, I'm pretty sure he's been stated that he could like shake or destroy the universe with like a thought or really casually, and like and we know that in Greek mythology, like, they do have separate realms that are universal in size, right? So, as you said, multiversal. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know he would skill that high. But I think generally he's not really that impressive compared to the Marvel and DC ones. So I think this one's gonna not really be a factor for like Thanos, like just so far. But I do think that he does have a pretty interesting win con that he could bring to the team, which we'll get into. But he's not down for the count, is what I'm trying to say.
It's funny too. I don't know if we're gonna give him his reindeer, but technically they transcend. It's stated he gives them herbs that make them like.
Oh my god, it's 3D plus, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying the Blitzen might get to Blitzen. But anyways, last one, the team captain, DC Santa. He's a big dog. Some of his avatars have been able to go toe-to-toe with Lobo. They did kind of lose, but they were also kind of trolling him because they keep coming back. And the reason I kind of say it's most likely the avatars, because we see there is like a true form Santa with like his true realm made of all Christmas thoughts ever. He's almost portrayed like I've showed you guys videos on like Uncle Sam as like an icon figure. We even see characters like, I think it was Abraham Lincoln, Chuck pointed out. And he's also shown directly to go toe-to-toe with Spectre. And characters that he beat that are like fodder to him, like Scrooge, could take down Spectre with their magic. So, and he also dabbles in magic himself, as he was shown attending a bar with some of the strongest magical characters in existence. So yeah, his just raw power. He also carries candy canes that can reality warp. Yeah, he's...
Talk about the dark side.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you want to... Yeah, talk about the dark side moment.
Yeah, so dark side always, like, press for him. Like, he has, like, all these, like, layers or traps set up for him, like, whatever. And he wants to prevent Santa from coming over. But somehow this fool always gets by and delivers a piece of coal. And he got blasted by Darkseid, but he's like, whatever, bro. I just came here to drop this off. And then he just dips.
So, yeah, he just turns around and flees. Santa's a menace in DC, but yeah.
Crazy one.
Yeah, that's the team captain. So that's our trio of Santas. So with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and let Chuck get into some of the best kind of feats we've seen in scaling for Thanos Wins version of Thanos.
Okay, so I have not read Thanos Wins, and it's probably been a minute, but I do remember some of the key things. Like, we don't know how exactly he did it, but he was able to defeat like these abstract entities. But before we get into that, though, he was able to defeat like Maestro Hulk, who's supposed to be like one of the strongest versions out there, right? And we have him defeating, I think it was old King Thor, who at this point should be stronger than Odin, who has multiversal feats, such as shaking the multiverse and tearing at the fabric of it in his battle with Seth. him being able to like separate a realm from the world tree, and even like nullifying something that was going to destroy it. So those are some feats that I remember, and Thor would scale massively above that. Thanos surpassed him. Also beat Surtur, who we know is like a rival to Odin, Prime Odin, I should say. And yeah, and then after that, like you would think he was done, but no, like he killed Infinity and like the Living Tribunal. Now it can be argued it's like the true Avatar, but I don't think that's the case, because otherwise they would have been dead in every reality. So it's more than likely an M-body, but still this is really impressive because the Living Tribunal like scales well above the multiverse, can be argued to be outerversal, which means that the concepts of time, space, dimension, they don't apply to him, right? And he transcends realms that are above that as well. So so hyperversal at the very least, right? Outerversal even. I'll say hyperversal to, just put him at a decent range there. And then he would scale massively above Cosmic Ghost Rider, who supposedly killed a Celestial and was one-shotted by the Silver Surfer, who was mighty, and Thor and Thanos also like one-shotted Galactus, who prepped for like a long-ass time.
Yeah, it was horrible. It ruined Galactus's reputation.
So again, we don't know exactly how the hell he beat all those fools. Like, we don't know if he had a weapon, but it's implied to be from his own power, from him getting stronger over the years, right? Or obviously just had some nasty ass prep, or just whatever. So going with this whole crisis that he's dealing with Santa's, then I think that he might have something up in store. He might have planned something out, because I mean, to take down those abstracts, like there had to be some planning there, I feel. Like,
yeah, but I think his like the clear thing that so we'll get this out the way. AP wise, he dicks down Mythology Santa, sadly. The reason I say this is that casual finger flick blast he did to Galactus, one shot, hella amped Galactus. That was like implying he was some of the strongest he's ever been at that point. That alone's an issue. Mythology Santa, hopefully he doesn't try to rush in and be a hero right away, because he's going to be in trouble.
He's like, got it.
Yeah, I don't think... To be fair, though, it's most likely he wouldn't, because he's not the most aggressive of the three. I would say DC Santa's the most fucking aggressive, because he's been in multiple brawls with Lobo. He also like pulls up on Darkseid. He's just like Spectre. Yeah, like Spectre was trying to flex on him, and Santa flexed back. So it's like, man.
Yeah, he's more out there for sure.
Yeah, he's the wild one in the bunch. Marvel Santa, his best scaling comes from being compared to Odin, as well as being stated. I don't think that's gonna be enough. Yeah, and stated to being the strongest mutant ever. That's really good too, but it'd be really... I don't see him getting one-shotted, but it'd be really hard for him to do much against this version of Thanos. It would be hilarious to see like Thanos swing Surtur's blade down to like finish off Marvel Santa, and you see it get blocked by a candy cane, and it's like DC Santa. This is where I think me and Chuck kind of agreed Thanos runs into a lot of trouble. Yeah, DC Santa's strong as shit, and man, I actually think he beats Thanos.
So I think personally it comes down to like which one of these two do you consider to be a greater feat, or which one you can scale higher. And with Marvel and DC, there's like thousands of ways you can argue something for how strong a character is, right? But it comes down to, is Thanos defeating a living tribunal M-body a greater feat than Santa being comparable to or stronger than Spectre, right? Because Spectre and Living Tribunal can both be argued to be outerversal, right? So, I mean, I'm not like an expert on the Marvel and DC cosmology, but I mean, both of them are supposed to be above like Like, these things that transcend the multiverse. Like you said, Santa's realm resides above the God sphere, right? So
Yeah, I would say so. Best argument for DC Santa, in my opinion, is the fact that Spectre was getting bulled on by characters that are absolutely insignificant to Santa. Like Scrooge is like an ant to Santa. So the fact he casually like is above Spectre, like no doubt, definitely is an issue for Thanos, because some of Thanos wins, some of them are in contention or off panel. Don't know exactly how he pulled it off. I definitely do think this would be a fun battle. Like, I definitely don't see it being one-sided. But I think once DC Santa starts cooking... We did talk about potentially a win con with Mythology Santa, where he can compress space-time and, like, distance hacks for the other Santas. Yeah.
Wait. Say again? Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good. So it was, like, basically space-time compression and distance manipulation. He'd do this weird like warping for the other Santas to let them shorten the distance for their attacks, and like basically just hyper speed them. Would be, I mean, first of all, DC Santa might not need it. DC Santa is probably faster than Thanos.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, like, he's fast as shit.
Oh wait. Did we talk about his speed? Because like the Flash thing, I don't think we mentioned that.
I didn't mention it. Yeah. So basically, Bart Allen was like, "Yo, I can deliver gifts faster than you," and Santa was like, "Cap." And then he was like, "All right, let's fucking race and see who does it." And he was like, "All right." And Bart and him raced to do it, and Bart thought he did it and won, and realized Santa had already done it. So. GG. Yeah, DC Santa's fast as shit.
So really the only thing that Mythology Santa has is like his hacks, but I think that it's really low level hacks, and I think Thanos can just negate it. So
it would be, oh my god, imagine
Mythology. Like, I don't think he's really a factor, like, unless you want to say that like maybe he helps give them an opening. That's probably the only thing I can think of.
No, I definitely think he's fodder for the battle. He might be enough of a distraction to help other Santas, but it would be funny as shit to see him, like, you see Thanos blast back the other two Santas, and then Mythology Santa comes in with his reindeer, and you see Thanos, like, snap their necks one by one. And just kills Santa from Mythology, but then the other two jump him. Marvel Santa probably goes down in the scuffle. But I think DC Santa clutches it for Team Santa and saves Christmas. What do you think? Any final thoughts on it?
No, yeah. Like, I do think that with higher scaling for DC Santa, right? If you want to say that he's slightly above, right, at the least, to Thanos' feat, then I think that he would win off of that. But I do think it would be like high difficulty. It would be high difficulty for him. But since he has the other two to, like, I don't know, troll into, like, I guess, kind of, assist him, then I do think that with that he should be able to, like, clutch it up. But I do think that Marvel and DC, I mean, the Marvel and Mythology Santa, I think they're pretty much donezo. I think they're dead. But, I mean, obviously DC Santa could probably just revive them. But yeah, I do think that the Santa team would win with really high difficulty, pretty much.
And you know what's funny is I can argue if Santa believes in, or if Thanos believes in Santa, or that Christmas is real, DC Santa's coming back. Because he's made from the thoughts of Christmas and the idea of it and stuff.
Like, I beat the fuck out of this one fool. And it's like, oh, it comes back.
Yeah. And it's just, he would get caught in this, like, mental conundrum.
Just has to will the thought out of his head.
Yeah, I'll cut that out, don't worry. But anyways, Chuck, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Again, guys, this was kind of late, but Chuck helped bring the reward and the gift on this one. The only thing I really have to say for me and Chuck is we are going to be working on a Hulk Thor project. So, in the upcoming months.
Hopefully. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, so
You gotta get to work on it.
yeah, it's a lot to read, but we can do it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. For those that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And yeah, anyways, it's been your boy Jobbers and Goons and Chuck, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Yep. Out.